So, hi Firoza, welcome to Lose Your Blues, and I am Dr. Hema Bajaj. I'm back again here this Saturday. We have a very unique speaker today, and that is none other than our Mumbai cycling mayor. This is Firoza Suresh for all of you. So, hi Firoza, thank you so much for accepting the invite. And just to give you a brief out here, girl looks like an ordinary girl, but mind
Your
you, she is not that she would
your
like to achieve.
audio.
Okay, so this girl is going to be special, and she can achieve any dream she would like to achieve. She's done that in her life, and today we are going to get to know her, also get to know what are the three key secrets that she uses to achieve her dreams. So over to you. Tell us about you. Who are you, and why are you such an
Well, uh, I'm Rosa. Of course, the bicycle mayor. The title is a journey actually. So I would say I was known as Mulund ki cycle wali. Okay, and the journey to become the Mumbai bicycle mayor. It's quite a journey. Everybody cycles when we are young, so I've just as normal, grown up as in a middle class family. Cycle was a vehicle to travel from a place to B place. I used to give tuitions to children and all of that. This is a normal childhood with a lot of fun. Of course, we didn't have the digital gadgets and everything at that point of time, so the playground, the cycles, and everything was part of our growing up process. So yeah, and then eventually the rigmarole of eventually the corporate world and all of that, it's the same normal situation which I was we all were, we all go through it. For me equally it was the same. But what changed was the bicycle. So for my commute from home to office, I used to go the normal route by the trains, and the difficulty was definitely the rush. Uh, I couldn't really take that whole commuting by train, and then the last mile connectivity was always a problem. Stand endlessly for the rickshaw or a taxi. I said, okay, fine. I have this vehicle, beautiful vehicle lying at my place. Why don't I pick it up and then start cycling? Um, so cycling at that point of time, frankly speaking, it was never for the environment, for carbon emission problems, or for the city per se. It was for myself. 12 kilometers distance from home to office. That was the distance which I started covering. Yeah, and what was good in that whole journey was the encouragement which you get from people. You kind of, the people giving you thumbs up and stopping you and said, okay, fine, can I how do I do something similar on a bicycle. So I felt good. I said, yeah, I must be something really good. And with that feeling, that's the time it kind of struck me when 2009 2010, I was commuting 12 kilometers distance. At that time I said, what is it with people? Why don't we it's a short distance, about 4 or 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers, and why still we pick up a car or a two-wheelers for that distance? And that's the time it kind of struck me, okay, fine, there needs to be something done about it.
Yeah. So how
And
old were you then when you thought something like this? Children don't think like that. That why take a car and not take a cycle?
so um, for me, when I was in my teenage, when I was in 16 or 17, 18 years of age, at that point of time, cycling was specifically for commutes, because I used to give tuitions to children. So I had like about 3 batch in Mulund. Okay. And in Mulund, incidentally, no one saw me walking. They only saw me cycling. And in I stayed in a society. I'm born and brought up in a very middle class family, and I'm born and brought up in a Muslim family, and living with all of those people around, and Muslim girl, getting on a bicycle, traveling, and still very orthodox at that point of time when I was growing up. Okay. It
Yeah.
was not. I was still wearing my jeans and t-shirts at that point of time, maybe around 16 or 17 years old age.
Yeah.
But still people coming up to my parents and say, लड़की है आप उसको टी-शर्ट पहनाते हो, जीन्स
Yeah.
पहनाते हो, साइकिल आप उसको
Yeah.
साइकिलिंग भी कराते हो. So
Yeah.
people, people and my, people used to come to my parents and say that,
Yeah.
be careful, so much of cycling which she does, she might not bear a child.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's a kind of thing which my parents were subjected to when I used to cycle and everything.
Right.
Of course, that really didn't deter my thing towards cycling.
But
and
how? I mean, after so much resistance, what kept Firoza going? Firoza was a baby growing up on a cycle, and everybody kept telling her this is not the thing to do. So, what kept you going and just going towards what you thought was your dream or passion?
I think, see, moreover, I guess it comes from the support of your parents. I mean, if specifically my mom, so that support was there from her. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, being from a very, I wouldn't say a very conservative background. I wouldn't say that. My mother was a big support for me. She said, okay, fine, you know what, there is a situation, we are staying in a little orthodox scenario in a in a society per se.
Yeah.
You might have to give up wearing those jeans and t-shirt.
Yeah.
And it was so I would say, one day I have worn my jeans and t-shirt, and the next day I had to switch to salwar kameez totally.
Wow.
That means no wearing jeans and t-shirt. You have to be in a salwar kameez and a dupatta and be on a bicycle. And that's how I used to travel to my college. I was the
Right.
only girl who used to come to the college on a bicycle. Okay.
Yeah.
And after seeing me, there are a lot many girls and a lot many boys. They started coming on a bicycle. Yeah, but that support was very, very important for me. Of course, I gave up
Right.
on the whole t-shirt bit and everything, but I switched on to salwar kameez and everything. But the freedom, I was not letting go of that freedom on my bicycle.
Right.
I couldn't, because and also for the fact that I'm from a middle class, middle. Hello.
Yes. We can
Yeah.
hear you.
I'm from a middle class background. I don't think so I had that kind of money or liberty
Yeah.
to go by a rickshaw or by car or any kind of vehicle at
Right.
that point of time. So for me, the most economical vehicle to travel,
Right.
to give those fortunes, was the bicycle.
So this is so amazing because I see adversity turning into an opportunity. So how many times have all of us really looked at the adversities of a life and chose that to be an opportunity like you did, right? So where all did this take you really? I know I saw your videos in Amsterdam and all over the world. Her videos are all over the YouTube, in German, in French. Oh my God.
So you know what? Interesting. I was still a frog at that point of time when I was growing up. Frog, because I'll tell you, because there was no social media. It was all about books, reading up, and getting to know about the world. And we had the atlas and dictionaries and all of that. We didn't have social media to actually see what's beyond. So I always consider myself to be a frog in the well. It was my mulund, it was my area, and all of that. But I guess when the whole turning point came in when I got back into cycling in 2009.
Right.
Things changed at that point in Hema. What the cycles which we used to purchase when we were young, we saw that color, red color, fantastic, superb, let me buy it. My kind of bicycle was a little, I had the street cat, it was a new cycle for my BSA. It was really looking, so I think, just pick up that bicycle. But things had changed in 2009. It was more of aerodynamic. It was more of geometry. It is more of your, the frame size should be according to your height and everything. And luckily there was this whole social media has just about started off with Orkut.
Yeah.
So we had a little small forum. Yes.
Yeah.
So we had a very
Yeah.
small forum of the cycling bit going on, and I had,
Yes.
had to reach out to the cycling community out there and say, you know what, I need to buy a bicycle.
Yeah.
Moreover, because there was an exciting cyclothon which is going to happen in Mumbai, 2010, which was
Right.
the first cyclothon, and the ceiling was going to be open, and
You
it
may
was.
want to tell all of us, because not all of us are from cycling background. What do you mean by cyclothon? How is it different from just cycling?
So cyclothon is where it's like a marathon, it's a critical
Okay.
mass event where all the runners come together and everything.
Mhm.
So similarly, a cyclothon would be all the cyclists from across Mumbai would come together.
Right.
So I was excited. I said, okay, fine. I need to get back into cycling. I need to buy a bicycle. So at that point of time, in 2009, when people, be like gold and silver and all of that, I said, I need to get the best cycle. I invested close to around, with my helmet and everything, close to around 35,000 rupees with the accessories, and
Wow.
35,000 at that point in time was quite a lot of money for
Expensive.
a
Yeah.
bicycle.
Expensive.
But for me, it was gold. For me, it was an investment. Okay. I said, I need to get the best, and I need to start. And it really paid well because I had that cycle till date with me. So
Yeah.
most important thing is if you choose the right bicycle,
Hmm.
it stays with you forever. So that's the kind of thing which
Yeah.
I really want to do. And 2010, that cyclothon was going to happen. I said, you know what, let me go and participate in that and everything. It
Yeah.
was my first experience of a really large event. I had a small event
Right.
in 1990. I come to that. I mean, just remind me to come back to that event in 1992 because it's very interesting. It was my
Right.
first triathlon when I was just out of college.
Okay.
But this cyclotron was something else because this is the first time I saw different kind of bicycle, which is a road bike to a
Amazing.
hybrid to an MTB and to all of that. And I went in my capri and my normal t-shirt, and I couldn't understand why these cyclists are in this colorful attire. The cycling t-shirts and jersey and lycra and everything. I feel like, wow, this is like the world of bicycles, and there were 7,000 numbers.
Wow. That's a big number. That's a big number.
Yeah, and that was like a very big event because Salman Khan was going to, Salman Khan was part of
Yeah.
it. He was the one who was promoting it and everything and all, and Dabbawalas. A
Yeah.
whole bit of Dabbawalas was inclusive in that entire cyclothon. I said, like, wow. I think I would say that was the advent. I mean, that was the start for an
Mm.
urban cyclist explosion to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, 2010. I think prior to that, we had a whole livelihood bicycles in place. You have the
Yeah.
Dabbawala, Istriwala, Dudwala, and all of those cycling who were
Yeah.
cycling the length and breadth of Mumbai city. But the
Yeah.
urban cyclists just exploded after 2010, and then you had various cycling clubs coming up. You have
But what
Nagpur cycling.
happened? Did you participate? You didn't tell us that. So what
Of
happened?
course,
What
of
is the
course, I,
result?
of course, I participated. Sea-Link was open up, and you
Okay.
go to the Sea-Link and you stop and you click photographs, and no one wanted to leave that Sea-Link and all of that. And you had so many good things too, and you meet so many cyclists around that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So,
But tell me one thing. I was going through your bio, and I know this question is very relevant to all the women on the call, because usually women are super passionate about what they do, and suddenly they have their marriage, they have children, and there's a big break. A lot of us really hate our professions and we lag behind, and it's very difficult to restart. Now, in a profession like yours, where you left your marketing stint and got on to cycling full time, to
yeah.
have a marriage and then a kid and then to come back, how was that for you, and what message do you have for the women on the call here?
So I think it's the same thing which happened with me also. There was a kind of a break. There was a pause basically
Yeah.
when it came to cycling also because I got married and I had a child and everything. And when he was 6 months old, I started my own advertising agency, a small
Wow.
one, but yeah, because my background is in media and
Yeah.
I've worked with various media organizations and everything.
Yeah.
So so yeah, having a small agency and I started working out there, and back and forth with my bicycle from home to office. That was normal. I was going. I had my child and everything, and we were growing up. We were cycling together, you know, nearby localities and everything, all of that. But the whole bit of cycling initially started off more towards leisure, because I really wanted to explore Mumbai city.
Okay.
Because back then in Mulund, as I told you, it was only around Mulund and nearby, and just for commuting, for tuitions and everything. I really didn't explore much.
Right.
For me, it was always with a purpose. That means you have to go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Necessity, because I had to pay my own college fees and for my own tuitions and all of them back then. But then
Right.
I had this bit of exploring Mumbai, going to Worli, NCPA, RA, and Mud Island, and all of those different places to explore on. And then the whole bit of advertising, I was really not, enjoying much. And I said, okay, fine. If I really need to shift my profession, what's the next bit?
We all want to
cycling
know.
was-
There's a lot of people here who have passion but are doing a job and want to know how to break in.
So I think first it's important to identify whether I really wanted to get into cycling.
Right.
So I said, okay, fine. Yes, this is something I'm really enjoying it. So let me understand. I also need to understand, because see, when you're shifting your core business or core job, you have a cushion of the monthly, income which is coming in, and suddenly you are shifting to a passion. Probably you might have to give up on some, the salary per se which you will be giving. So for me it was a big call. Cushioning. So for me it was a big call, but I had to take it because I feel it's more giving me the happiness, which was very, very important, and also giving me the fitness which I required. I said, if I'm getting of it, if I'm being fit and I'm being happy, I think let's go for it. And I quickly got a job in a bicycle company in Dadar. That was my first job. So
wow, you found a job near to your passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my first job which I picked up, and after that I got another job again in a cycling company. So you know how is it when you are good at your job, the next cycling company, they kind of feel that they want you in that organization. For me, but it was good because I think I was nurturing myself. I was nurturing myself towards understanding the whole hardware per se out there, because for me it was always about cycling. Pick up your bicycle, all of that. I used to just give it to all the Ajubaju bike mechanics and everything. I used to never do it on my own, and I still don't do it on my own, because I feel the economics have to work for the smaller bike mechanics or the cycle mechanics nearby. You should give them the business. I never do my own puncture. I said,
okay.
Even if
So we learned 3 things from you here. One is to identify your passion and to find out if you love it so much that you want to take that up and give up your current thing. And second is to do something around it. And nothing is very small. Like you took up a job in a cycle store or a shop. Nothing is below dignity when it comes to your passion. And third, very important thing is give business to your local what do you say, shops, local small people around. Encourage those businesses as well. Now we have an interesting question on the chat. Let's just take the question first. How does one ride on the roads of Mumbai and the rash motorist? Can we all together get a cycling lane?
So let's keep the Q&A in the end, because
okay, let's do that.
Once we go through the entire journey, and probably that those questions might be relevant, or
let's do that.
So I think the first around 2012 is a time. In 2009, 2010, I took up a job.
I think your video is stuck.
No, I'm okay. I can see you.
Now you're okay.
Yeah.
Now we're okay.
So around 2012, I think we really wanted to just have fun, and that's
Okay.
the first time we had a bicycle flash mob.
Okay.
But it was on a very relevant topic, which was cycle to work. It just
Okay,
happened.
you need to tell us what is flash mob. Not so. Let's be considerate. Not everybody knows everything.
So yeah, so a flash mob is where you kind of you have this any kind of busy market or busy
Right.
place where you have prepared a small skit or a dance and everything. You have prepared much in advance basically, and
Yeah.
then you kind of gather at the location where you have the audience, okay,
Yeah.
where they don't, maybe a mall or maybe, and then you
Right.
kind of dance on that particular number with a proper message. It
Right.
could be unity, it could be anything, freedom, or
Right.
whatever message
Right.
you want to give. For us, the message was cycle to work, and we did it opposite
Superb.
Bandra railway station with full
Wow.
permission.
Wow.
So we got all the permissions, and we also got the rights of the song "Jo Jeeta Wo Sikandar."
Yeah, I've seen that
That
video of
song.
yours on YouTube. So, guys, there is a video on YouTube showing scenes of those flash mob, which looks super interesting. So, yes.
So I think, for us it was fun, but I guess that was the first intervention for us, the beginning of keeping that foundation of promoting cycle to work. And I'm glad
Right.
we promoted cycle to work around on that day, because we felt that people have forgotten.
Yeah.
Cycling, we were cycling city when there was no rickshaw, or there was no vehicle, during
Yeah.
the British
Mhm.
and British era and everything. We were on, all the mill workers and everything, they used to be on bicycles. So I said, you know what, this was great that we're promoting cycle to work and everything and all of that. It looked fun. But going forward, I guess we had to dwell on the subject, and I was working. So for me,
Yeah.
it was a year-on-year intervention. So next year, we decided that we will have a very inclusive ride with the urban cyclists and the Dabbawala.
Wow.
So we got the Dabbawala together, and we said let's
Yeah.
have a critical mass, and let's understand where we could have a commercial place like BKC to
Yeah.
a residential place like a Carter Road. Why can't we
Right.
have this route and peak hour in the evening?
Yeah.
So the second intervention also was to share with the people that we can share the road with the normal motorized transportation, whether it's car or two-wheelers and everything. So
Right.
around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening, we had
Right.
this ride from BKC to Carter Road.
Wow. It
Again,
must be a
all
crowded
of
ride.
Yeah, it's EP, and it was amazing because people are wondering, why are these 200 cyclists on the road
Yeah.
going? What is the message they want to give? But that's a
Right.
simple message we wanted to give, that we share the road with you,
Yeah.
and we wanted to
Right.
also show the people that it's not a big thing to cycle along with motorized transportation, or I get. Hello, Hema.
Yeah. You're there? Yeah. The
Yeah.
video keeps
So,
popping.
that question that the gentleman mentioned about peak hour traffic and everything, I guess that's
Yeah.
what we want to address. That we exist, and we coexist with the motorized transportation. That was
Yeah.
a small message, as for us, for me also, it was a learning curve.
Right.
I wouldn't say that I had completely evolved in the subject and I knew it all at that point of time. It was a journey. It was
Right.
a real fun journey for me.
So it was the first time that you all were trying this co-cycling along with the motorists as well. Was it the first
It was
time
the
for you?
first time for Mumbai City. It was the
Ah,
first time for
okay.
Mumbai City.
Okay. So Shara, to
So
answer your question, they are still learning on the curve. But yes, I know the cyclists do cycle along with the traffic with due precautions on. Right?
so let me add, because he's asked this
Yes.
question, and let me add one thing very clearly out here. So in Mumbai, there are these very distinct cyclists. Okay, there are
Okay.
the livelihood bicycles, the dabba wala, istri wala, doodh wala, and all of them. Then there are these recreational cyclists, जो वो cycle morning में लेके जाते हैं 6 o'clock. They go for fitness or recreation and all of that, and then they come back around 7:30, and then done with their cycling.
Right.
And there are these third urban cyclists who
Right.
cycle to work,
Right.
or cycle to school, or cycle to college. You know,
Right.
those, of course, they're fewer in numbers, but they are they definitely exist.
Right.
Now, coming back to the fatalities,
Mm-hmm.
according to the traffic, statistics which we have,
Yeah.
most of the accidents of the cyclists have never happened in the commute space. It's mostly happened in the leisure space.
Oh, that is amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See,
Those are the
yeah.
fatalities. Those are the statistics which we have got from the traffic department, which means when you are when you are cycling in the peak hours, whether it's in
Right.
the morning during peak hours or in the evening, the average, you know, the average of a peak traffic is around 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. How can there be a accident around that
Yeah.
time? And we've asked enough of the dabbawalas and the Swiggy cyclists and Zomato cyclists, and that have you ever come across any accident around, when you are cycling? And the answer is none. I mean, they've never had any major accident. Only problem which they have had most of the time is the potholes. So maybe
Yeah.
they must have fallen on a pothole, or they
Yeah.
kind of get up and brush themselves off, and then they are off to go again. So
So
those are the
I
small
so I
incidents.
have actually have my friend Uttam telling me, yes, I have been noticing a lot of people cycling to work on Western and Eastern Express Highway during office hours.
Yes,
So
that's
yes,
really amazing.
that's really amazing. So so Smart Commute Foundation Cycle to Work project. Firoza, what is your dream?
So Smart Commute Foundation really didn't happen when we started off this whole journey of Cycle to Work. The Cycle to Work program developed in 2014. 2014 was the first time where it's very interesting. We said, you know what, enough of all this whole, fun element. We had this Dabawala and we had the flash mob and everything. We need to get serious. We
Yeah.
need to understand if we can approach corporates. We
Wow.
can put up a challenge to the corporates that, you know what, here is an entire Cycle to Work program or an event which you really want to put up, and let us see how many people will cycle on a particular day. So
Yeah.
2014 we created an event, but normally the events happen on Sundays, right? A marathon or a cyclothon.
Yeah.
We
It does.
created an event on a Friday morning to make
Superb.
it more difficult for people to cycle, and we
It's the
actually
most
wanted to
traffic day. Friday is the most
exactly
traffic day.
we actually wanted to see how many people will actually cycle to work on that day. And you said, okay, fine, let's make it a little more interesting. We divided Mumbai into 4 zones.
Okay.
So we had 4 locations demarcated, say from
Yeah.
Oberoi Mall to BKC, from Thane to BKC, from Worli Traffic Headquarters to BKC, and one location from Chembur to BKC. So we demarcated all these zones, and what we did also, we created this whole rental system. So people who have not cycled from school, college, or whatever, they can go to these locations and they can pick up rental bicycles. And what we did, we kept BKC as a central location. And interesting enough, we approached Sofitel,
Wow.
the Sofitel Hotel
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
BKC.
Yeah.
Okay, we were very clear in our mind that we
Right.
wanted to converge in Sofitel in BKC,
Right.
but
Right.
Sofitel में converge करना है. So we said, okay, fine, let's share a mail to them. Let's send a mail to them. See how the
Yeah.
journey is. If you dream about it, you think about it, it'll happen. We send a
Yeah.
mail to Sofitel in the morning. By
Yeah.
afternoon, we get a mail back from them, or I think we get a call from them. We are in. Tell us what to do.
Amazing. Amazing.
They don't say anything. Just say
Yeah.
we are in. We like this entire project. Please come to our office and we'll discuss it. And I think that if that support of a core group, Sofitel,
Yeah.
wouldn't be there for us
Mm-hmm.
to believe in our journey, I don't think so. We would still conduct our events somewhere in a ground
Yeah.
place where, okay, fine, आ जाओ playground में and breakfast खा के निकल जाओ. But
So
Sofitel
thoughts
gave
do
us
create realities, huh? So if you think of something, just go ahead and do it, and it'll become real
exactly.
for you.
I guess
So
I guess
we
that
have another question on the same thing. What about the shower facilities
okay.
in, when you go to work? What about that? Did you all think of that?
So I guess, you know what, in this whole, when we started off the first in 2014, you know, we laid that platform. We just laid that foundation for Cycle to Work.
Yeah.
But we didn't stop over there, right? Because, you know, interesting enough, in 2014, you know, how many people turned up?
No, how many? 10, 15?
Friday morning, 350 people turned up.
Oh, wow.
So again, that was a milestone which we created. And when people turned up, see, they turned up from 4 different locations. No
Right,
one said, you know, show me a shower facility where I can shower and I can attend this event.
right.
None of them. They came for the sheer passion of cycling, and they really wanted to understand what is this whole subject of Cycle to Work on a Friday morning was all about. I
Right.
guess I guess what happened for us also was that the urban planners and the transport planners also attended this event. That
Amazing.
was a missing link for us.
Yeah.
And also for the fact that the cyclist came up to us and says, please have this every month. It's a
Wow.
fantastic event.
Yeah. So
So
you never
what
know how many people are actually asking for such changes in the city. You know, you took the initiative, but probably so many more are wanting to cycle in Mumbai and
So,
wanting to look
and
at.
I would go back to the question which he kind of asked, is that no, it's an uphill task. The whole subject of
Yeah,
commuting to work or school or college,
it is.
different TG, different age group. It's a chicken and egg situation for Mumbai city or for
Yeah,
other
yeah,
cities
it
in
is.
India,
So trust
because
me, in lockdown, the only good thing happened is that we don't have to commute for work. So,
that's a different thing. That's a behavior change which we have
yeah,
to come back to the whole thing.
right,
But
right.
coming back to the question which he asked, the chicken and egg situation. Why?
Yeah,
Because when we reach out to corporates, the
yeah,
first thing they are concerned about is the safety of their employees. Okay, they say
exactly,
the first thing they ask is, where is the infrastructure? The roads are full of
exactly.
potholes.
Yeah,
Where are the cycle tracks? We don't have a cycle track. We are sharing the road with motorized transportation, with
right,
cars and two-wheelers. Then they
right,
say, okay, fine, where are the shower facilities? There are no shower
right,
facilities. Where is
right,
the infrastructure? Where do you park your bicycles?
right.
Okay. As I
Yeah,
mentioned, there are two different sides. There are two set of people. One is the livelihood bicycles. They will
hmm,
just look at some electric pole or some railing and they'll park their bicycles, right? Because
right,
it's not an expensive bicycle.
right.
But when you have an expensive bicycle which is 25, 30, 40,000 or
You
a
want
lakh and a
to
half,
keep it safe. Yeah,
you want to have a safe cycle within your corporate
exactly.
parks or IT parks within. And interesting enough is that most of the IT parks do not allow bicycles within the compound.
Oh, I didn't know this.
I,
This
I
is
know of many organizations, whether it is BKC or whether it is Low Parel or Nariman Point, and they don't allow bicycles within their premises, which is very sad because when we are talking about climatic change and we're talking about a whole lot of
right,
environmental problems which we have in congestion
right.
and pollution, and still cyclists are not allowed. So yeah,
So
the concern which
there is one more concern which I think 2 or 3 people have brought it up is about the courage to cycle in traffic. So somebody had written, I haven't gathered the courage to cycle in traffic yet. So any words on that? You know, how do people gather that courage?
So it's of course taking that first step, and because we've been dwelling on cycle to work subjects in such a long time, we've created so many
Yeah.
ambassadors. So
Okay.
so if they go to our Facebook page, Cycle to Work with a numeric to work, you will
Okay.
see all of these ambassadors where we have profiled them along with their route. So you will
Okay.
have this gentleman who says that I'm cycling from Vikroli to maybe Andheri East, MIDC. We've mapped their route. You can join him for that
Okay.
particular route. So we've
Oh, this is
got
awesome.
yeah.
So, guys,
So
you know who to contact if you want to remove your fear and you want more mentoring on how to cycle.
hand holding, yes, we are there to, like, there's a gentleman called Fardeen who works with Yes Bank. I'm
Okay.
taking his name because I did a hand holding with him. So he
Okay.
stays somewhere in Lokhandwala and he works in Lower Parel.
Yeah.
So Fardeen wanted to cycle from home to office.
Mhm.
So and do he's a recreational cyclist, and he said,
Right.
"Can you help me first day at least? Let me try it out." I said,
Mhm.
"Okay, fine, I'll come with you." and I cycle from Juhu to Lower
How
Parel within.
how nice that is, yeah. Guys,
The
you know
only
who
thing
to
is,
contact, huh? Now. Yeah,
the only thing he had to give me is a cup of tea. That's it. So, but yeah, besides the point, so yeah, those are the hand holding process, which because we want to give him that experience that it is not,
exactly.
it is the same thing. Only thing is that yeah, you do not wear your earphones and
Yeah.
you are visible
Okay,
on
you're
the
not
road.
supposed to do that, huh? Because I see so many leisure cyclists in my area wearing nice headphones and earphones and cycling.
Not at all, because I guess once that cuts the noise,
Okay.
you need to hear the vehicular traffic, and also that you need to stick to your lane and be
Okay.
visible. So don't wear black t-shirt when you are cycling.
You'll
Wear a
merge.
fluorescent or yes,
Okay.
wear a t-shirt which you are visible on the road. So
Okay.
which is very important, and especially when you are doing a night cycling, at least
Yeah.
have those tail lights, and wearing helmet is mandatory because it's very important when you are on the cycle. The most important thing is that the motorized transport, especially the rickshaws, they take you seriously when you are in your helmet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
We also do when we are driving in the car and we see a cyclist with a helmet, we know that, that's serious business and you have to give way to them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Phil,
I can't hear you. Hello, Hima?
hello.
Yeah,
Go
Hima.
on. I can hear you.
Yeah, I didn't get your question. Hello, Hema?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, I can
No,
hear you.
yeah. So tell me, yeah.
So I was saying, have you found your purpose in your life? So is this your guy, your purpose for living?
So I think the purpose came when I visited Amsterdam, 2017, as a speaker for a very prestigious conference. Uh, the conference was incidentally all about cycling. So 2017, that's a mecca. Amsterdam is a mecca place for cyclists and cycling, and
Yeah,
it's a
it
way of
is.
life. It's a way of life for them. So everything is about
Yeah,
purpose. You move from point A to point B. They have something to work or school or college or something on those lines. Um, when I saw this place and when I attended Velocity conference, the entire
yeah.
discussion for 3 days was only about cycling. I said like
Wow.
this is amazing. I mean, how can the entire conference revolve only about cycling? Cycling also, they also catered to making the entire city disable friendly. So
Yeah,
a physically challenged person, how can he move around with his
right.
so that was a really amazing forum for me to attend and to understand. And I think by the end of it, I was literally in awe. I said like, wow. I mean,
Aghast. Yeah.
yeah. And I said, okay. And with that whole, that the whole vision which I guess I got was from that Amsterdam forum. I said, you know what? Let me come back and let me work on it, because um, we're
Wow.
still we're still dwelling on the subject. Though we had the whole think tank coming in, we had the urban and transport planners saying that, you know what,
Yeah.
this is missing in the whole, because it can't be just an event. It has to be a movement. There
No.
has to be there
Yeah.
has to be a change within this whole uh, subject of
System.
cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So of course we created award function eventually out of this whole yearly event. Uh, we had instant gratification programs within that whole program of cycle to work. So as I told you, I was dwelling on this whole subject of cycle to work, and what came, what helped me to also understand is that there has to be a easy low hanging for any city. For us, the low hanging
Yeah.
was the whole bit of the people staying in the informal settlements. Of course, the
Hmm.
cycle to work program is towards the white collared and people who are going to the offices and everything. But I feel
Yes.
the behavior change out there it's pretty tough. because there are a lot of
Yeah,
people who
it's not easy.
complain. There's a complaint,
Yeah, so we have a lot of questions on that. We'll come
So
to that.
I've heard all of those complaints and everything. I say, you know what? Let me look at the low hanging. The low hanging are the people who do not complain. The dabba wala, the istri wala, all of those, and they're staying in the informal settlements. And looking at the sheer population of Mumbai,
Yeah,
20 million, half of them stay in the informal settlements, the slums and the
yeah,
chopatpatti, what we call it. I said, if I have to create a critical mass for this whole um, thing towards the ridership per se, increasing the ridership, I need to have more cyclists on road. So I know quickly I realized that in my journey that I need to get more of these people who do not complain about the
yeah,
infrastructure, all of this, climate, rainy season, and everything. And I partly moved my focus in understanding how they commute. I have interviewed almost like a lot of those dabbawala, dudwala, and isiwala and asked them repeatedly the same questions. Do they have any problem cycling in Mumbai city? And none of them complained. They said, and for
okay.
them it is a necessity because they have to travel. And then the most interesting, the food delivery guys, the Swiggy cyclists and the Zomato cyclists.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
they create legit trips for us. They do about 70 to 80 kilometers per day of cycling for Mumbai city. Now they are the ones, I would say,
yeah,
the the ones who are not using the two-wheelers or using another vehicle which is
yeah,
creating pollution for
yeah,
Mumbai city. And I felt I need to nurture this. And then we had another program called the Me Cycle Rider program. Okay, in the Me Cycle Rider program, there are two things we decided. We will donate bicycles, either it is new or old. So the old one came from all the societies from Mumbai. We pick up the old bicycles, refurbish it, and give it to the urban poor, people staying in the slums and all of that. And we gave maximum
oh,
to the
that's a
kids.
nice,
So
yeah, that's
what
a
we did,
nice thing.
we created that young generation of cyclists, so
Yeah,
that and apart from giving bicycles, काम वहाँ पे
yeah,
खत्म नहीं हो गया. What we did is we made them inclusive. So I got my urban cyclists and said we need to have rides. We need to create rides for them also. So since then we've been cycling along with those urban poor kids.
yeah,
We've been cycling along
yeah.
with them and creating a very disciplined cyclist out there. So
Amazing,
yeah.
yeah. So for me, it's a very interesting takeaway because what you're doing, I see here, one, you do a research to find out what your consumers basically, what are their pain points, and then targeting those pain points, and then not only providing a solution, but actually hand holding them through each step to see them grow from point A to point B. So, guys, I think this is huge for me because normally what we do is whenever we put out a product, a service, or an idea, we just put it out with a understanding that the person should follow it. But we never look at them and handhold them to the time that they get used to and comfortable with it. Amazing. So I had this one interesting question on Amsterdam. Since we are on the topic, I ask you this. So, how does Amsterdam, especially Holland, manage to encourage and implement cycling on such a large scale? Dr. Yatin is asking us this.
So Amsterdam, first of all, it's very, very important when it comes to a subject like cycling. Okay, there are ridership and there is infrastructure, right? Ridership comes from people like you and me who decide, okay, fine, I need to cycle. But the infrastructure comes from the local authorities or the state government or the central government who would decide, okay, fine, we need to focus on the non-motorized transportation. Non-motorized could be walking and cycling. That means giving more, investing more of the funds towards non-motorized transportation. Okay, so that's where Amsterdam became Amsterdam not like in one day or 1 month. It took them 30 years. Of course, they had the same problem. It was a car
Seriously, I always thought,
in
wow,
70s. It was a car centric city. It took the
superb.
people's movement. It was the people's movement to decide, because there were a lot of fatalities of the younger children also on the roads. It was a people's movement who got the entire city on cycling. So now it took them almost 35 years to be the cycling city what it is. Okay.
Yeah,
Also understand that they continuously work on improving the network. So a comprehensive mobility plan is very, very critical. So for us, it is the smart cities. We have the smart cities programs within India, where
yeah,
100 cities. So obviously we call it smart cities, because then it's, you have a proper city with proper infrastructure. You have maybe metros, and you have all. So within the smart city program, there is a provision for cycling too. So there would be public bike sharing. There could be infrastructure, cycle track, and all of that. So Bhopal and Mysore, and these various cities definitely have the infrastructure to hold it. Uh, but if you really want a holistic plan, then a comprehensive mobility plan is absolutely important to create a way where you have a focus towards non-motorized and motorized equally. Like now in Mumbai, if you look at Mumbai, the whole modal share,
yeah.
51%. 51% people walk and cycle.
Wow.
That
Wow.
is the percentage.
This is big. Yeah,
Yes. So yeah. So and 25% people take public transportation.
yeah,
Okay. And then 4 or 5% is the car, the motorized transportation and the two-wheelers and all of that.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So
in
so
fact,
when
somebody also writes that probably during the COVID situation, when everybody's getting back to work, this may be the optimum solution for them, because they don't want to kind of take private transport or a public transport. Yeah,
Exactly. So in the current scenario, because of the social distancing and public transportation not being there, when this whole lockdown happened, the first thing which happened for Mumbai city prior the lockdown and during the lockdown, prior the lockdown, I could say the air quality was very, very critical for most of the cities,
yes,
whether it's Bangalore, Mumbai, Gurgaon, and all of that. Very critical because it was very, very bad. But during lockdown, things had changed. There's clean
yeah,
air,
they have.
the skies were blue and all of that. So it is very important for people to understand. I mean, are you planning to again get on to your cars or two-wheelers again for short distance? You need to
Yeah,
decide. You want a Mumbai which is pollution, congestion. Are you wearing a blinkers on, still going back to your, you know, um,
older ways.
older
Yeah,
ways? Or for at least short distance, like a 4 or 5 kilometers distance, pick up your bicycle and or go running your errands for your household. You want to go to
yeah,
your market or meet up your friends or meet up your parents nearby, just pick up your bicycle. I mean, that's the easiest way to go about it.
yeah. So we have an interesting question from Sharad. He says that what do you do of the rash motorist? How do you really, Feroza? Yeah, that's my question also. So how do you really dodge the motorist, or when they are doing the wrong thing in Mumbai? How do you manage to be safe?
So see, again, it is I would say the recreational cyclists and the people who cycle to work. Most during the peak hours, the traffic it's not that quick enough for you to actually have any fatalities, because the traffic is very, very slow. How would
Okay.
a motorist come and you get compromised, or how is that possible? Because the traffic is, yes, but I would still feel that you have to stick to your lane, which is if you're on the left hand side, you have to stick to your lane. No motorized no car or a two-wheeler would purposely come and hit you. I've
Right.
been
So
cycling the length and breadth of
stick
Mumbai
to your
city.
lane, basically.
You have to stick to your, and you can't say, okay, fine,
Okay.
I will go. left to right and all of that, because that's traffic. I mean, you need to be
Yeah.
careful. So, but yeah, uh, this is a common
Right.
question which many
Yeah.
people have asked.
I'm
The only
sure.
way, the only thing which I say, have you even tried it once? If you've not tried it once,
Good.
then you should pick up your bicycle and try it at least once,
So
because
try
that's what
it and
happens.
stick to your lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's very easy, you know, whenever I get these questions, and I always tell people, okay, are
Yeah.
you sitting in an easy environment, you know, clicking on your WhatsApp and you're typing on your Facebook and everything? It's easy, you know. Social media is so easy. You sit in your comfort and you start, you know, yeah, aisa problem, and all the problems. Okay,
Yeah.
but what are you doing about the problem? You
Yeah.
know, when you are in the
So
car, you
we
are the
have
person.
one question from a friend of mine who has actually begun cycling. So Shobna is asking, there are two practical problems and she wants your suggestion where to practice riding and how to get a cycle up to the venue to practice. How do you manage when you were learning?
Okay, so when I started off learning, I was pretty young. So we had a colony and we had a garden and everything. So the easiest
Okay.
way to start learning is to within your compound. Okay, that's the
Okay.
easiest first. Then if you have a nearby locality which is a little less of traffic, that's the best way. And I think early mornings around 6 o'clock, it would be the best time to go out and learn by cycling, because there's no traffic, absolutely no traffic,
Right.
and a place where there's there shouldn't be any two-wheelers or a motorized transport car who would be in a very
Right.
situation where they're cycling they're riding very rash. Okay, so you have to select a place
Right.
which is
Right.
less. And also important thing is that when you start off cycling, please do not start off with 10 or 15 kilometers first day itself. Start with
Okay.
small distance. There are enough people who pick up a bicycle and then immediately they want
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
like 50 kilometers first. So you need
Yeah.
to start small, baby steps. Do 4 or 5 kilometers in a day, because you do not want to land up in a saddle sore. You know, people will have a
Actually,
little problem because you are not warming up and you are not doing your stretching also.
enough.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you need to do a
Right.
little warm up when you start off. You need to do a little stretching when you finish off your
Right.
cycling, so that you do not have any aches and pains. You know, when you and also
Right.
for the fact that you need to hydrate well. You need to have your
Right.
nutrition in place. All of that is very very important. So eventually, when you get into cycling, good that there are a lot of these cycling clubs which have come up. So if you are staying in Malad,
Yeah.
there's Malad Cycling Club. You are staying in Borivali, there's
Yeah.
Borivali Cycling Club. So you search for your cycling clubs around, so that at least you can start riding along with them after the lockdown, whenever it is
Right.
out.
Right.
So it's very very
Right.
important to search those cycling clubs and start riding along with it, so you
Yeah.
get that confidence. So there's a problem
Right.
of confidence and all of that. So you can build up your
Yeah.
confidence, but riding along with these groups initially. So, and that's
Right.
how you can build. And most of the questions and queries, most of these cycling group friends and
Yeah.
all, they this
They
to
sort
find
it out.
look into.
So
They sort it
Shobna, you
out.
have your answer. Shobna, you have your answer. Start small, take baby steps, eat healthy, and start cycling early in the morning when the traffic is less. So just start, and then I think the rest will follow. We have another question from Nishikesh, who says, in current situation, we have seen many traveling issues. We saw long queues. So can we move back to cycling again? And if so, what do you recommend additionally?
So
I'm not sure I understand the question.
so the thing is that about current scenario, there's no public transportation. So even
Yeah.
even if you see BST, there's a huge queue. You are standing in a long queue to get to your turn to come and to sit in the bus. So if the distance is anything between 7 to 8 or 10 kilometers, that is easily doable on a bicycle. I am not telling people to cycle from Vasai Virar to Churchgate. That's not what we are talking about. We're talking about short distances. Okay, because I mean there are people who are
Yeah.
doing 25-30 kilometers in a day, primarily because they feel that if you don't have time to go to the gym, cycling is the best way to get back to your fitness.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to a gym. You just pick up your bicycle, do those 20 kilometers till your office, and then
Should
do your work, and then come back in the
be
evening.
enough.
And also there's a myth about when you're actually cycling to work, you leave it around 7:30. So there is no sunlight around that time, because you have to reach your office by around 8:39, if you want to kind of get into a shower facility or whatever. And then you're leaving your office after 6:37. So ideally, that's the good time to leave and then return back home. So so that's
Right.
So
So we have another question. Okay, you finish this and then we go to the next question.
So coming back to the social distancing currently, that's the best. In fact, the state government have given full permission for cycling, walking, and everything. Mission Begin Again, which was released on June, the semi-partial lockdown. So June 3rd was the first message which was given that y'all can cycle or walk or do your physical activities and everything. So but with social distancing. Now with public transportation partially opened, you have rickshaws and everything and all of that, but still people are little wary of traveling, because it would be in close contact with so many people. And again, Mumbai, we have so many cases of COVID coming up every day.
Right.
So and now the focus of in today's newspaper, the central government have told the state authorities to focus on cycling, which is today's news at Indian Express.
Wow.
So that's a welcoming message for us, that today the central government has issued a notice to the state government that you need to start focusing on cycling, because that's the best way of vehicle for social distancing.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are super excited. We're going to take last 2-3 questions more. One, they ask that even though it's a very good form of exercise, what are the kind of known side effects of cycling, and what are the do's and don'ts to cycling to work?
So there are various activities which people take up. They take up running, they take up cycling, they take up gymming. It's all about physical fitness, right? Cycling is the only exercise which is low impact exercise. Okay, so you are not really putting that kind of effort on your knees, and most of them take up cycling after 35-40, whether it is running or cycling. That's the general demographics. If you see, most of them
true.
35-40 and they go up to 60, 65, 70. That's what I've seen. Okay,
true.
So if you're going to pick up any kind of physical activity, which is marathon or cycling and everything, then you need to see your anatomy and your what you are, what is your current weight and all of that, and how you need to proceed. Because I've seen a lot of these people who want to do a marathon and they're actually overweight. I'm sorry, you first need to get your weight down. That means if you are about 75 or 80, first understand you can't start running a marathon, because that will put up pressure on your knees. That means first you need to get your weight down, and then so if you're talking about cross training, then yes, running and cycling is the best way of cross training between alternate days, or and include your core strengthening exercise to it. If you really want to get into the space of fitness and all of that, so a couple of things you need to do: your core strengthening,
focus on your core.
Core, pick up your running, cycling, or gymming, and you need to take care of your nutrition, which is very, very important. Your protein intake after you finish your exercise, and good sleep, which people forget.
This is, I think, the basic for Mumbaiites, no?
Yeah, the digital pace and everything, I think the most important thing is where you need to have your cutoff. Because people want to do everything. I want to do my marathon training, I want to do my cycling, but what they fail to do, if you are going to get up at 5:36 in the morning for doing that training, you need to have minimum 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you not had that, please don't get up. Go back to sleep. It is better.
Okay.
Yeah, this is fact.
So guys, we are listening that we all need sleep. How many hours of sleep do you say is good?
Minimum 7 to 8 hours of sleep is ideal for to rest up, and then you can get up in the morning and take up your sports or whatever, or you want to yoga or whatever it is. That's a basic. Yeah, that's very, very important, and that's, I think most of them fail to do that.
So we also have can you give 3 tips to someone who's fit and someone who wants to begin cycling to work? Like one of our guests is asking on the chat, Rashmi is asking us.
So I first of all, I need to understand what is the distance, okay, whether it is a short distance or whatever. You need to be prepared to take a change, which is if you do not have a shower facility in your office, the extra change is very, very important. You also need to wear clothing which is visible in nature when you are cycling, maybe a little fluorescent t-shirt or whatever, because ultimately you are riding in a traffic, and if a fluorescent t-shirt is, if you are visible on the road, that's very, very important. Helmet is very, very important. And when you are cycling back in the evening, then your lights, your tail lights, okay, on the bicycle, which will also give you the visibility which is required.
Right.
And when you're reaching office, of course, if you do not have a shower facility, your change of clothes, and if you can carry those towels, extra towels, and the wet wipes. There are all these wet wipes which comes in, which I used to do when I used to travel from Juhu to Dadar. I used to carry my wet wipes and my deos and everything, so that it doesn't inconvenience other people around, and then you're good to go.
Okay, we have a very funny statement which says, can't we fix a small motor in the cycle so that we don't have to paddle to work? People.
Okay. I missed out on that, Hema. So, so there are electric bicycles which have come up now. Okay, so people who do not want to pedal a lot and don't want to sweat a lot. Okay, so and they have a distance of 10 to 15 kilometers or 20 to 25 kilometers.
Long.
They can easily pick up an electric bicycle. Why should you? And you have a convenience. So if you do not want to use an electric, you can switch it off and use your regular power, human power.
You get those in Bombay?
Yes,
you get those in India? You do?
You do Google
so
search.
Mr. Subhash, you have to buy that. So Mr. Subhash will buy the electric cycle since he doesn't want to paddle.
Bicycles which have come up.
Okay, so the last question that we take up, Firoza, is can Mumbai actually become a bicycle capital of India?
Okay, so this journey has led, this 2012, I would say 2014 onwards till 2020. I've really dwelt on this subject, and it's not an easy subject to be in, and to come up with an ambitious vision of making Mumbai the bicycle capital. I think that I guess was when I became the bicycle mayor of Mumbai in 2019. Now I am part of a global mandate, global program, which is created by a Dutch NGO called Bikes. Okay, there are about 100. Yeah, there's 100. Yeah, it has to be Amsterdam because they are the ones who are leading the entire change for making cities bicycle friendly. So there are 100 bicycle mayors across the globe. There are about 45 bicycle mayors in India alone. So if you see different cities, the Pune,
I didn't know this.
Pune, there are 2 bicycles, Jaipur, then Guwahati, then there's Gurgaon, and then there's Chennai, and then there are a whole lot of bicycle mayors across. So we are having a mandate which we work on, which is called 50 by 30. which means 50% of the commute trips in the city should be converted to cycling by 2030.
Wow. That's
So
going to
that's
be awesome to watch.
So yeah, so everybody has the same mandate. So I have got the same mandate to other cities have the. So I said if we have the mandate and we have a timeline of 2030, okay, how do you break it up? Because that's a macro, that's like a very big plan, and you need to break it up into micro programs and smaller accomplishments and smaller goals and all of that. So we said okay, fine. 2023 we'll focus on increasing ridership, because if even if the authorities decide to give you a cycle track, and if there are no takers like the BKC cycle track which we had, and there were no cyclists who
Yeah.
were using the cycle track, and then people say it's a failed project. It's not a
Yeah,
failed
it's a
project.
field project.
It's not. It's cycle tracks can
It's
never
not.
be a failed, because we did not focus on the
Okay.
ridership. We did not give more cyclists towards that particular cycle track, and so for us the focus would be
Yeah.
to increase the ridership. So we have decided to donate 1 lakh cycles by 2023. Now, 1 lakh cyclists, we will do it selfishly using the informal settlements, the urban poor. So those 1 lakh cycles will be donated to the. Hello, hello, Hema. Hello. Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Can you hear me? I
that's
hear
going to,
you.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
going to be the focus to 2023.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
can. Go on.
yeah, so we have announced, because we have got this whole vision of making Mumbai. So we've announced bicycle counselors,
Okay.
in each ward. So Mumbai is made of 24 wards. So your people who have joined in this whole webinar, each one must be staying in some ward or the other. Each ward will have one bicycle counselors. So we'll have 24 such counselors in each ward, and that's called more of the micro management. So that means you have someone who will nurture getting the entire infrastructure for cycle stands out there, interacting with
Yeah.
the authorities out there, interacting with the politicians out there, interacting with the schools, colleges, trying to get the
Yeah.
entire ridership within that, also interacting with the urban poor, the informal settlements out there, get that movement going in that particular ward. Also the leisure cycle tracks within that particular areas. So people don't want to cycle to work. They want to just go out and do a leisure cycling activity.
Yeah.
So we'll identify that particular zones also in that ward, so people can go up to that particular location, cycle and come back. So those are the ones, when it comes to little more on ground and more micromanaging the entire activity. Also the
My
second
God,
level,
this is amazing. I
so the
mean, this is
process is,
almost like a business setup organization from down up, taking care of everything at the grassroots level as well.
actually that's something which in Hema, you said it right. The grassroots level work is so critical, because now everybody wants a ready-made model. No one wants to do this job of setting up, putting up,
Yeah.
because it's a difficult subject. Cycling, to get that entire movement going, this is what is required. Putting up a cycle track is easy, then calling it a failed project, it is easy, but working towards getting more cyclists on the road
Yeah.
is,
Truly.
is a tough job, and it requires more of behavior change to eventually make it into a way of life. So yeah, and after bicycle counselors, of course, the next plan is to also create junior bicycle mayors, and that's the next step. I
Wow.
guess that's something which we have in the
Junior as
pipeline.
in kids, you mean?
Yeah, anybody who is below 17 years of age, nurture that set of young kids, to at least nurture them to think about cycling and create programs where they can start cycling to school and college. So it's going to be robust. This whole plan is going to be robust, and we've made into smaller programs for smaller understanding, for otherwise at the bicycle mere it becomes too overwhelming for me to look at the whole Mumbai per se and create the whole mobility plan and
Yeah.
everything. Reach out to the authorities with the entire plan together, that this is what we want from for Mumbai to make it a bicycle capital of India.
on the globe. So, Firoza, you are super passionate and lots of energy contributions from all of us. You can bank on all of us. Just reach out to the community whenever you need volunteering. And it also tells me, guys, that we come back to our topic again of your dreams and dreaming so big that it sounds irrational. Nothing is irrational. So when something is very overwhelming to all of you, like this big dream, break it down into smaller dreams which are more achievable. And one step at a time, keep at it with perseverance, persistence. Even though people judge you, even though people throw stones at you, or people question you, or people pull you down, you keep
Absolutely.
going. So I have a very beautiful comment from Brian John Phillips. He says that yes, many of us don't understand the kind of efforts that Firoza and her team are putting into it. And people, please listen up. This is a wonderful initiative, wonderful talk. Thank you, Brian, so much. And Firoza, thank you so much for coming on the platform. Please give our participants the last 3 secrets, for them to achieve their dreams, whatever their dreams may be. How should they
So,
do it?
so across forums, across all the WhatsApp and social media and everything, I don't know whether you have read my WhatsApp, that, where you put those, thing about line of, so you should, that line is very interesting. So it is mentioned, it's something like that. Don't abort the dream. Don't abort the dream your heart is pregnant with. It was such
Oh
a
my
powerful.
God, this is so amazing.
So it is stuck. It's stuck in all what I do in my life. Don't abort any kind of dream. It's like a baby, and for me it was a baby. I mean, it just was. I'm nurturing it, and
Truly.
also I said, don't abort the dream your heart is pregnant with. Okay, so much so that where I sleep, I have a huge whiteboard. So when I get up in the morning, there's a whiteboard which is clearly mentioned on that, making Mumbai the bicycle capital by 2030.
Oh my God.
All the smaller tasks which I need to do, everything, all of that is all mentioned over there. The tasks which I've done, we wipe it off and I write it down. Everything has been total detailed out in that whiteboard. But it is very, very important because I need to see it every day. I can't forget
See
it.
your vision every day. Yes.
So as you mentioned, there are a couple of things which I like to, the 3 things or the 5 things which I believe in. So first thing is that you need to dream it, because everything begins with your heart and mind. Because until unless you do not dream it, life is too short. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
you have to fulfill anything. I mean, for me, it is cycling. For anybody, it could be learning to dance or
Yeah.
singing, any kind of thing, whichever, whatever, it couldn't be in the space of social change making, but something which you have not been saying kal karte hain, everything says kal karte hain, parsu karte hain, kal karte hain. Do it now. Just do it. Life is too short. Second thing is very important. I think you need to believe it. So for me,
Very
it was
important.
not, you have to believe it. Third is you need to see it and you need to tell it. So when I see it is, sometimes I see those, when I blink, I need to see those 100 cyclists on the road, and which is that's where it is, a successful um, journey basically.
Yeah.
And you need to tell it to a lot many people, because until unless you do not say it, how would
Yeah.
people come to know? I
Yeah.
make it very evident in everything, making Mumbai bicycle capital of India. It's very evident in all my communication, in all the press release and everything, because everybody needs to know and everybody needs to actually consume that thought. And
Yeah.
that's where even the fence sitters, when they read this, the fence sitters, they say, okay, yeah, it is possible. I'll be part of that change making, making
Process.
Mumbai the cycling
Yeah.
capital. Plan it. I think all was planning, everything. The whole bit of getting the bicycle counselors, the junior
Right.
bicycle mayors, all about planning, breaking into smaller activities and work on it. I guess that's the journey. It's the toughest part.
Wow.
Because you start alone, and then people join in, and people believe in it, and yeah, but you have to be on it. So
So awesome. First, guys, we dream it. Then second is believe in your dream. The third is you see your dream happen the way you want to see it happen and tell people about it. Fourth is to plan on it. And fifth is to actually go and do it. Don't procrastinate it. Don't wait for a perfect sunny day that will never come. So go out and do there. Your thought to action. So this was amazing. I am charged up, and all my dreams I'm going to collect, not abort them ever again, and put in my action plan for those. Thank you so much, Firoza. You're so sweet. You
thank you.
accepted to come on the platform.
Thank
We
you,
really
Emma. Thank
thank
you very much. Yep.
and
Bye-bye.
all the best for your future. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. See you next time.